gravity, if
Yeah, let's go back to that.
if
ISS, right?
if
The
we
ISS?
yeah, with the ISIS, with the understanding that we have about gravity, if it is the way that we understand it to be, then a flat Earth would be impossible because it would collapse itself into a ball by its own mass. So the response of flat earthers to this is that there is no gravity. But then how does the space
Right.
station stay up there when
I've
the
said this.
air below it is so less dense than it?
Okay, fairly understood. I'll ask you again if I need to for you to reiterate. And also really quickly, I'm not a representation of flat earthers. Just want to make
Okay.
that clear.
Okay.
But I believe that there is an area above Earth where people can float, and that's probably in that little middle area between Earth and space. People do float. I think it's possible. Like, I mean, I can't prove it, but I believe that. But if so, that's somewhere where the ISS is floating around. But I'm also curious as to how they put all these videos supposedly sent from the ISS down to Earth, where these guys are floating around and there's all these weird digital anomalies, like these people disappearing through doorways, and they're playing with little toys, and they just drop in their hand all of a sudden, and then they're like, whoops, fucked that one up, didn't ya? And just stuff like that. Yeah.
We can talk about that if you want, but like, just to finish what my point is, that so did you think there's a place that you can float?
I believe there might be. Yeah. I mean, like, I'll say it again. Like, I've never been up there myself. I don't want to go up there that high because I think it'd be really dangerous. But I think, just from what I understand about like space travel and everything, and with like the vomit comet, and then all this sort of stuff from other countries too, I think if you go high up enough, there is a change of gravity, and I think it can be done.
Oh, but so you do believe in gravity?
Yeah, for sure.
But you cannot have a flat plane the size of the Earth with the understanding that we have about gravity.
That's not true. Well, you probably don't understand gravity. I'm not saying I do either. I'm just saying both can exist at the same time, mutually.
There's a rule that kind of works, which is everything is looking for its lowest energy level. That's kind of the law of entropy. And this is why when you get to a certain mass, they form spheres or spherical-ish type shapes, because every bit of matter is looking to have the lowest amount of energy possible, i.e. be closest to the center. And that's one of the effects you get from gravity, and that is something we observe time and time again when we look out at the natural world.
But Druss, how do you know that law applies to this floaty region?
Floaty region, I like that. Floaty region.
It is an inference, but then we start getting into having to special plead that the Earth is different to everything else we observe around us, and that would put us outside the standard form of nature, as I would understand it.
I'm curious.
That if you add to that, being on the Earth's surface instead of even going to the floaty region, the further you would go out from the North Pole, the vector of gravity would change.
Well, I mean, there's all that kind of stuff as well. Gravity is a point. It goes to a point, but I don't know that. That's where I would start to refer to people like Curved or Nick or rocket scientists who've got better physics than me. That annoys me. I have to say that about Nick, and his maths is much better than mine as well, which is also fucking annoying to say. But
well, I'm just interested in ET's thoughts on this, as to like if he might be able to share with us any more reasons why he has his suspicion that this floaty region exists the way that he envisions it.
Well, have we not seen those videos of these astronaut type people, like in lower atmosphere, quote unquote, floating around in these planes? I don't know, maybe 150,000 kilometers up. I don't know the distances, but
what about the millions of pictures that we have of Earth taken from satellites from space?
That doesn't count anymore, because NASA is now being accused of being completely fake. So
What?
we have to completely. Yep, absolutely.
Bullshit. This is total bullshit.
For sake
By
of
flat earthers.
no,
By
not
what?
at all.
Accused by who?
Let me finish.
Accused by idiots, I mean.
Fine. You can believe whatever you want. You
Is
can believe whatever you want
the
to believe.
criticism credible? And who's the credible people that are making the criticisms? And how has it gotten to everybody else? And is it accepted?
It has to be, of course, you guys have to throw out space because space is fake. Because if you space isn't fake, there are pictures from space.
There's no such thing as you guys. You can't call us you guys. I'm my own individual. I'm not a flat earther. I'm my own human being.
You talk like one. You talk like one.
That's your problem. That's not my problem.
You talk like one. You walk like one. You quack like one. Guess what? You're a duck.
Chill. He's not a flat earther. He's just a fucking moron.
But what we do,
most flat earthers are morons, so it's tough to tell the difference sometimes.
I'm a duck and a moron. In about less than 5 seconds, I'm a duck and a moron.
Do you think the Earth's a sphere?
Yeah, that's what we do, Chris. We create globe.
Hold on, Kimo. Know what the shape of the Earth is.
You're a flat earther. You just don't want the flat Earth label. You want to have your cake and
Chris,
no, most flat earthers aren't really. Most flat earthers really aren't flat earthers. They're globe deniers. I don't know what the shape is, but it's not a globe.
I don't know.
No, I'm a flat earther, as in we know it's not curving. The Earth is flat.
I see what you mean. Right,
it's not a globe, but I don't know what it is.
It's a sphere. I'm totally open it to be a sphere.
No, it's not a maybe, though.
I just want to see the evidence.
Do it yourself. Go do the air tossings experiment. 3 sticks on the same line.
I've done a lot of research over the last year. I've spent probably way too much time researching the whole subject.
Researching meaning looking at.
Quite sure
research meaning looking at YouTube videos, or research meaning looking at scientific journals.
To the strict
doesn't know what research is. He came to the conclusion that there's a floaty region in space instead of actually understanding orbital mechanics. He did zero research.
Floaty region, man. Okay, so do you actually believe we went to the moon then?
Yes, we actually went to the moon. We actually went to the moon. I've talked to 3 other people who have walked on the moon.
Have you looked over the research about the fact that maybe we didn't go to the moon?
No, because we did. I suggest you go tell Buzz that.
I know the tone in your voice. You didn't really spend a whole lot of time.
Please go tell Buzz Aldrin that, and maybe he'll bop you in the nose, okay?
Yeah, exactly. He'll punch you in the face.
Exactly. We're getting away from the point here. It's about his research and what he's done in the past year. Can you tell us more about your research, E.T.? Something besides the moon?
These 3 sticks we need, have they got to be calibrated?
No, actually, they don't. It's all about the ratios.
So you can stick them anywhere, yeah? At any angle and...
No, they do have to be. They do have to be straight up. That's
calibrated,
correct.
And like you said.
Oh,
they don't have to be calibrated. The length is not important, but they do have to be straight.
That's calibrated.
Come on,
getting the right angle that you want.
Arrogant. And like, to answer your question, sir.
They don't have to be calibrated. I'm telling you, they just have to be placed at the correct angle. And then you have to wait till solar noon.
How do you work out the angle then?
You measure it.
So they are calibrated.
No, it's not calibrated.
That's what I just said.
What would be
What the fuck do you mean? The sticks are not calibrated. You do have to measure. You need a tape measure of some kind to measure the length of the stick versus the length of the shadow, and then you have to do some trigonometry.
Yeah, but how do you know when the stick is completely straight?
What would be the error if you were off by 1 arc second in your position of the stick to 90 degrees?
Yeah, about 1 million miles, I should think.
No, it'd be very small.
Can you use bent sticks?
What's that? Sure, you can use a dowel rod. It'd probably be better. Yeah.
You can use.
I would suggest you could be off to as much as a degree from 90, and you probably would be okay.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know exactly.
Bamboo is self-calibrating, by the way.
Where did they get their straight sticks from 2,000 years ago?
Oh,
any stick will do. It's just straighter the better. Longer the better, probably, up to a point.
How deluded are you?
I'm not deluded. This is called math. You should learn about it before you speak and show how stupid you are.
3 sticks!
Wait, no. They don't need to be calibrated. Wait, no, see, Brian, they don't need to be quote-unquote calibrated. You just need an exact measure of the straight line distance from one end to the other. It can be a bendy, fucked up stick for all it matters.
No, it should be straight.
What's an exact measure mean?
Excuse me?
Can you hear yourselves?
What's an exact measure mean?
Right, so if I take three sticks and put those sticks on a hill, they're going to be bending away from each other.
Not on a hill, you have to be flat.
No, but I'm saying those sticks will be bending away.
If you do it on a hill, you're going to purposely fuck up the experiment, and that's what you guys want.
No, but you're not understanding. If you put a stick on a hill, one on one side, one on the other side, they're going to be bending away from each other. That doesn't happen on the Earth.
Incorrect.
What the fuck?
So if you get a ball, you put one stick in one side, one stick in the at the 11 o'clock.
Well, that's correct.
The 2 o'clock.
That's correct.
That's correct.
Thank you. That's what we're proving with the Artosi's experiment. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So you're already presupposing that at the stick.
No, I'm not presupposing, because the other option is the Earth is flat and the sun is in 3 different locations at the same time. How does that?
No. You're saying the stick at 11.
No. Listen to me. If you assume, or if you want to say, we start off with a hypothesis that the Earth is flat.
No,
I place 3 sticks on the same line of latitude. That's a hypothesis.
No, it's not.
And then you get.
All right, go on.
Listen to me,
asshole. You've got to let me finish. You've got to let me reply there, but finish your point.
So if you measure the angles, if you calculate the angles between the sticks, you find out that the sun has to be in 3 different locations at the same time. How is that possible?
Right. So again, that's your you just said that's my hypothesis, yeah? So that's
not... hypothesis that the Earth is flat.
Okay.
Therefore, the Earth is not flat.
Let me reply, though. Why not let me reply?
Because I'm not finished. Therefore, since you've disproven the Earth is flat, you proved that the Earth is round and the sun rays are coming in parallel, now everything makes sense. All your measurements make sense. And you...
If the sun's closer, we get the same results.
No, because the sticks point to 3 different locations at the same time. There's no way that the sun can be in 3 different locations. With 2 sticks, you can delude yourself. With 3 sticks, you cannot.
Oh, there's calibrated sticks.
Not calibrated, measured.
Right, look, if I stick a stick at 11 o'clock and one at 1 o'clock, they're going to be not parallel. They're going to be angling away from each other.
It doesn't matter when you put the stick in, Chemo.
You have to measure it solar noon.
Later, and we can't prove it better than they did 2,000 years ago.
Well, this is the basic experiment that you can do yourself. Remember, do your own research. This is the flat Earth thing. You don't need any fancy $2,000, $20,000 gyro or any bullshit. You just need sticks, a measuring tape, and a carpenter's square.
For a real brief moment, I want to make a serious point about this. You're arguing about sticks and shit, but you can get the same fucking results by measuring it with a calibrated instrument. The sticks are just to keep you from having to look directly at the sun. Put a filter over a fucking sextant, and you can measure the same goddamn thing.
Well,
you guys are being pedantic little fucking pricks about the stick.
Sextants are much more expensive than sticks. I mean, sticks are relatively cheap. You go find one.
You asshole! Why are you fucking arguing about this with me when I'm backing up your point?
I understand that. What I'm saying is the problem with the sextant
then
is
why are you arguing
expensive.
with me?
I'm not just telling you. The reason you don't use a sextant, the reason I tell these guys not to use a sextant, is because then they'll get in, I can't afford a sextant. And everyone can afford a stick. You're 100% correct. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Go with a fucking filter on it.
That'll work too. But
doesn't sunlight bend, you said?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, man.
Look, if you ballers can't get your story straight, that's not our problem, okay? We'll make
no, you guys are just making shit up. Now you're using general relativity and saying that light bends, and you guys don't understand that one either. No, the light coming from the sun travels in straight lines. Thank you very much.
I mean, which argument? Are we arguing one side of the argument of the ballers, the other side? What are we arguing with?
What do you mean? What are you arguing with?
Curb's saying one thing, you're saying another thing, and...
No, we're saying the same damn thing.
Well, you're saying you should use sticks, Curbs is saying use an instrument.
You can use either one.
No.
The sticks are cheaper.
Nobody said should use either.
Can.
Pointing out the fact that you can use both and they're going to give you the same answers. Different methods for the same answer.
If a stick measures 20 centimeters and a ruler measures 20 centimeters, are they both 20 centimeters?
Okay, in all seriousness now, let's get back to the practical side. So we've got the explanation, the hypothesis, Shield NASA. Where is who's done this? Where is the actual experiment?
Oh my God!
Not
Why don't you just search for here? Do your own research. Do your own research. Do some flurf research and Google Eratosthenes experiment and look at all the data. There's a Facebook page where kids, school kids, do this on almost a daily basis.
We know this. We've seen that. We've seen that.
Okay,
you've told
what's
us.
your problem?
Well, the problem is that no one has practically done this.
Yes. What do you mean no one's done this? Kids do this every fucking day. You moron.
Where? Show it. Provide the evidence.
Google it. Eratosthenes experiment.
In the text chat.
There's a guy who did it with his bike and 2 sticks, and he got 17% wrong or something.
I hate that guy.
He was off.
What I'm wondering though is why you believe something you've never tested for yourself.
I've done it myself. Thank you. I got within 5% of the these accepted value. Not bad.
Okay, fine. Let's take a look at what you've done. Let's see your work.
Oh, you think I saved this? This was years ago, before I realized that people were idiots and thought the Earth was flat.
Yeah, but how long does it take to set up? How long does it take? How long did it take you to set? How long did it take you to set it up?
We have a way bigger problem. It's called the New World Order.
Hold on a second. Is that ET? Hold on.
The New World Order.
Hold on.
Oh my God.
ET, they get away with this. Now they're going to circle twerk in a minute and think they've got a victory. So, NASA's shield pay guy. You said you've done this.
Circle twerk, Chemo.
Circle twerking, yeah. You'll get back to, we've won.
What's a circle twerk?
The flat earthers can't answer it. You'll start having a little victory dance. So, let's focus on this experiment that Shield Page said he's done, which he's put sticks in the ground and he's measured angles. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's all talk, right? And talk is cheap, right? Page Shield? Talk is cheap.
What's your problem? I don't understand you. You're being talked over by another guy.
Yeah, don't mind him. Right now, you said you've done an experiment, yes? An experiment has been done. You've done it. We'd like to see it so we can repeat it.
Well, go ahead. Repeat it. I mean, it's relatively simple.
Repeat what? We can't see anything to repeat. What's to repeat? We don't see anything.
What is your problem? You Google Eratosthenes experiment. Do it right now.
Yeah, so let's see that you've done it, and we can verify that it's been done.
Like I told you, I did this years ago before I realized that people were stupid enough to think the Earth is flat.
Yeah, nice story, bro.
It's one of the classic experiments. Yeah. You could do this yourself.
Nice story, bro.
This is the whole thing.
Let's get with the reality now, and in all seriousness.
What do you think? You think I saved the data from an experiment I did years ago? That basically.
I'm sorry, Kimo. Why are you asking him for the evidence when you've been presented this evidence 100 times from 100?
Because he's a pro. That's why.
Because he's made a claim, a wild, outrageous claim that he's made measurements.
Not wild nor outrageous. You can do it yourself. My God, do it on the next. If you wait until the equinox, you can even have an. You familiar with what an equinox is?
I don't want to wait so you can start circle twerking and celebrating something you haven't done. Why should we wait? You show
bullshit.
now that you've done this experiment.
I don't have the data from that anymore. I told you.
So don't
it was
start
years
dancing.
fucking ago.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have it. So
what? So
that's the point.
You think it's not been done?
That's the point, Mark. He doesn't have it.
This is already cool because we will now hold Chemo to the same standard of evidence that he's trying to hold you to.
He's claiming a victory.
I haven't finished my point.
You interrupted what I was already saying to a NASA shield pay guy.
Experiments that I know, but you've been speaking an awful lot, and I've hardly said anything for about the last hour.
Yeah, but I want a response from a paid shield guy before we derail and get the victory dance on. Yeah, you can hold my toes to the fire. Fine. If I make a claim, I'll have to provide it. We know that.
Okay, I can't finish my point. Thank you.
Yeah, that's normal. We know that. We're not stupid enough to make wild, outrageous claims that we can't back up.
You are stupid enough to make wild-ass claims like the Earth is flat and you have no proof of it.
Never ever do that.
By the way, Chemo, you keep bothering me for proof. Show me. I would like one bit of proof that the Earth is flat. Just one, please.
Well, the reason why I'm bothering you is because you had a little victory dance saying, "Oh, flat earthers say the most ridiculous things. Flat earthers say this and that." You have believed something that you cannot demonstrate.
Let me know when Chemo's finished.
Oh, shut up, Chemo. I did it. Do you think I saved the data from an experiment from 2000 years? This was done in high school.
I'm sure you did.
This is what high school students do.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
You save all your high school books?
They all say that.
I did actually.
Google it, damn it. Do some flat Earth research.
Google
Eratosthenes experiment.
Alright, get back to your little victory dance now then. And just recognise, Page Hill, there are people who will call you out on this this victory that you think you have. Okay, don't be so quick to jump to the victory boat. Because you don't have anything
because we did win, and you have no idea what you're talking about. You won't even do the freaking. You're the one who thinks it's fake. Do it yourself.
Chemo, you have all this evidence. One of your fellow moderators, Kosho, showed it to you. Why are you asking him for his experiment?
Because when people make wild, outrageous claims, they need to be able to back
Not
them
wild
up.
nor outrageous, and I didn't fucking save the data because I didn't really think it would be that fucking important 20-some years later.
Well, just repeat it. So you did it before, do it again.
Remember, guys, it's got
Oh, yeah, I could.
You could, but you won't because you
Why
can't.
don't you? I have a better idea. Why don't you fucking do it and prove to yourself that the Earth is flat?
Because it's your
Or
wild claim.
round.
It's your outrageous lunatic
Well, no.
claim.
It's a
It's
wild
not-
claim presented by 100 people to you, Chemo. It seems like it's now time for you to go and do the experiment.
It's time for you to shut up and do it.
We're on a ball, ain't we? Spinning, flying through
Chemo has
space.
successfully deflected and gotten the attention onto himself here.
Yeah,
and everybody
it's all about him.
continually harping on Chemo as helping when he deflected away from E.T., our guest here, and talking about his notions of bloaty space. Is there any reason why we shouldn't go back
Well,
to
what is
his
space?
thoughts on that?
E.T.,
Oh, I'd
what
like
is
to.
space? E.T.
No, Chemo, shut the fuck up. We're talking to E.T. Just because he's flailing like a fish doesn't mean you have to jump in and try to get him.
Well,
everyone
what
away
is
from
space?
It.
If you're going to say space, then we all
Chemo's
going to ask you what is
jealous.
this space.
People want to talk to E.T. and not talk to
Nothing to
Chemo.
do with jealousy. We're here for the truth, not for your fairy tales.
Well, then let him tell it, Chemo.
I've just asked him, E.T., what is space?
ET's on 24/7. He's like kind of on the fence guy. His big thing is that what he likes to name ET extraterrestrial. He really believes that there are aliens out there, so it's hard. He doesn't really want to think that the Earth is flat, stationary. So if you guys want to talk to him, he'll tell you.
He
All,
admits to being a flat earther. He
Tell
just
me
won't
about
tell you how
aliens.
confident he is in it.
yeah,
He's not
he
even a
wants
flat
to-
earther. Yeah,
He's not a flat earther. No,
exactly. So
he
you
wants
just
to talk
circle
about-
twerking with your own kind because
It's
you
dark.
can't-
Oh, that's not a fucking hell, Kim.
he wants to talk about aliens. I mean,
I
if anyone wants to talk about
aliens. I want to know about aliens.
he also he's a big New World Order guy. When Bush Senior gave a speech to the joint session on Congress where he said, we have a new world order. So that's kind of the things he's into. I'm just so you guys know, okay?
Yeah.
1,000
also
points of light.
Well, Crit's
the
here now.
flat
Crit's a flat earther, so you can have Crit. He can do. He can
Fuck that! I want alien time.
Yeah, actually, I was just gonna listen. I just know ET. I've talked to him many times. He's probably been for 24/7 for about 6 months. So I actually the other day I just listened. It's fun to listen too. I don't always like to talk. It gets kind of boring just talking all the time.
Could you post an invite to 24/7 in the chat, please?
Bot will ban you, right?
He'll
Oh, no,
get
they
banned
can
in 2 minutes or so.
Well, probably.
Definitely give
If
me.
you
No,
act
I'd like
like
to
that,
go-
there,
please give me
Page
the
Shield,
link.
you will. If you just keep saying, "Well, you go and do it," you'll just be out of
Well,
it.
that's what. Well, excuse. Isn't that the whole flat Earth thing? Go do your own research. Isn't that your flat Earth mantra?
Well, talk to
DM it
Crit.
to you.
Crit is there 24/7, and let's see how far it goes.
Yeah, here I can DM you the link. It's just really simple. It's just there's no numbers. It's just flat Earth. The server's so
Why are you banning cunts, Crit? Look, that's 2 people apparently. Not at least one person. You
I've never banned anybody.
Crit and
No, I
co-banned me.
banned one person who talked about that he's going to spray the room with machine gun fire or something like that. I'm like, okay, whatever, dude.
I got banned for talking about them outside their server. Well,
Talking
no,
about-
technically, I got my roles taken away and I left the server.
Like
All my roles.
I did. Did I do that?
No.
Oh,
no,
okay, yeah,
I'm
that's what
just
I'm
saying that's the climate over there. It's very top heavy moderators, and they basically because this is just my own theory because they have very little control.
I'm
over
already
their
banned
lives,
from it.
They
I
live
didn't
like
realize.
I was fucking speaking, cunt.
Oh yeah, no, you're always
they
talking.
live vicariously.
Sorry.
They live vicariously through their mods to exert some control. That's my theory, and I'm not always talking. You are always talking.
I'm sorry. I guess I got banned from 24/7 already. Amazing.
Oh, boo fucking who? That's such a shame because I would much rather you be over there than here.
I can
course.
check the ban list. I can't overturn a mod ban, but I can do the other ones.
Yeah.
What we could do,
For sure,
though, Page
I got banned there because
get-
the one thing they don't want to hear on a Flurf channel is the truth.
No, we could get you in the arena and get you against the flat earther with rules and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not seeing you on the ban list, so you'd have to talk to the one of the admins.
It's okay. I don't care.
What good are the
Okay.
rules in the arena when it's run by the fucking inmates, where anything you say is immediately called a fallacy, the support can be absolutely nothing, and your point gets thrown out and the other person gets unlimited talking time over you? What is the fucking point of the arena, Chemo?
I don't do that. I've debated Gosho. I think I've debated Gosho twice. I've never both times I didn't call fallacy once.
That's what they do over there.
That's not what they do. That's
Yeah,
something generalization.
That's their modus operandi. It's the only way you can do that when you have such a mountain of proof against the flat Earth without a single thing in their favor. Come on, what's this? Give me one proof of the flat Earth, please, Chemo. Come on, just one. Give me a picture of the firmament. Give me a picture of the dome. Give me a sample of the dome. Show me the ice wall. Show me something, please.
Pictures are not proof. If you want proof, you've got to look in the scientific world.
And which means there is no proof for the flat Earth. Thank you.
Water don't bend.
Water does bend according to water conforms to the.
Let's do it scientifically. Let's do it scientifically.
Water conforms to the forces for the forces put on it.
It
Yes, it does.
Does it support its own weight?
Take water in a bucket, spin the bucket, the water will form an arc. You say it can't bend, it just does.
Chris,
And
stop
once again,
mumbling
Brian,
like
if
that,
you're going
Chris.
to say water can't support its own
don't
mass.
live in a bucket, do we?
No, that's Mr. Matt, but once again, if you're going to say something,
example. You don't
remember
understand an
that
example.
what you're saying is that water must always be in a sheet 1 molecule thick. Don't say stupid shit like that.
Water cannot bend. You have been deluded.
I just proved it to you. I spun it in the bucket. It forms an arc.
Do we spin in a bucket?
No, it doesn't. It goes flat if you spin it.
What? No, you spin it.
Get him, Get him.
Oh.
Water.
They're saying if you spin water,
Water can bend.
enough,
Water
it
conforms
goes
to the
flat.
forces upon it.
It doesn't start going into a spherical form.
So how come
could
oceans
it
are deep then?
possibly do that?
Why are oceans deep then? If water can't support its own mass, why are oceans
It's
deep?
being supported by its shoreline. Just like any other vessel that you put
Oh,
water
you're smoking something
Why
there.
are oceans deep? The reason why oceans deep is because there's a giant body of water.
But no, he
sitting
said
on-
that water can't support its own weight, but water does support its own weight.
Wow.
No,
What does that even mean? That's like saying
I don't
air
know
can't
exactly.
support
That's why
its
I'm
own
asking
weight.
him.
Yeah, if
That's
we
why I'm
take him
asking him. He doesn't
stupid
understand what the
argument.
fuck he's talking about.
Yeah, Crit, if we take him seriously on what he says there, Mr. Mavitt, shut the fuck up for a second. Crit, if we take what Mr. Mavitt says
Are you
directly
kidding me?
there,
Telling other
literally
people to shut
saying
the
that.
fuck up?
Yeah, it's hard to hear you guys are talking all over each other. Go,
He just keeps
just
telling
one-
everyone to shut the fuck up, and he doesn't shut the fuck up.
just one at a time, if you would.
If we could.
No, I would say would, but like, okay, so really what the ET, he gets long-winded, and this really shows you that how flat, 24/7, he always is over there, right? Hey, ET, how many times have you been told to leave on 24/7?
Very few times. It has happened, but it's mostly because maybe I got a little, long-winded. as you
Long-winded,
said.
right? No one shuts
Right.
you down for your ideas. Matter of fact, people like talking to you. It's fun to break up, the alien talk.
Thank you.
And conspiracy
Thank
talk.
you. I appreciate that. I didn't even bring up the UFO subject or anything. I was actually just getting straight up into the flat Earth deal, and I was surprised how triggered people get, I guess. But thank you, Crit. Thank you.
Before we get
Do you have some proof of the aliens?
I want to
please?
mention an observation that I saw, and I'm not sure if it's real or not, but somebody put a neodymium magnet underneath water, and they showed that if you shine the light on it, you can see the deflection of the surface of the water over the magnet. I don't know if it was real, but it was interesting. So it does seem to react to the forces involved.
Just hold a statically charged rod next to a stream of water. It bends.
Moving water. I think the one in the water in the pool of water is neater because it shows a static body of water reacting.
Then a force is acting upon it.
Exactly, like gravity. Thank you very much.
There's no such thing as fucking gravity.
What's holding your dumbass to the chair right now?
Density. Relative density.
No, density is a number. It is not a vector. There is no direction with density.
Gravity.
Prove gravity.
What do you mean prove gravity? What's holding your fat ass to the chair right now?
Is it fuck? I'm heavier than the fucking air that I'm in. That's the only thing that's keeping.
Heavy. What is weight? What is weight? Weight is a force. Force equals mass times acceleration. The acceleration is gravity. Thank
Gravity
you.
is not a force. How many times should you
Gravity
try?
is an acceleration.
Believe that shit.
Gravity is an acceleration. It's not a force. You're correct.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
What the
What,
fuck
nine-
are you telling me? If you go down a mine and you have rock above you, you weigh less.
Hit page show.
No, you weigh a little bit more actually, but that's another issue.
All right. On the
No, he
statement,
was
gravity
insistent
is an
that there would be
acceleration.
no pull
All right,
from the
hold on,
rock
Brian, because
above
look, let's calm it down a bit. So, Crit, you want to ask a question? Let's get it back on the.
I was asking a question.
Yeah. Okay,
He
go
said
ahead.
gravity is an acceleration, not a force. The acceleration, is it the resultant acceleration or the causative of the acceleration?
What's the cause of gravity?
I didn't ask you that. I asked you the acceleration that you're referring to. Are you talking about the effect? It's actual, the motion of whatever
9.8 meters per second
accelerating?
per second.
Or are you talking about the acceleration in sense of what's causing it to accelerate?
The 9.8 meters per second per second.
So if I drop a feather, it's going to fall at 9.8 meters per second squared.
In a vacuum.
That's an effect.
We
That's
don't
an
live
effect.
in a fucking vacuum, you twat. This is how they've brainwashed you.
No, moron. Do you understand that there is air and air has resistance? You know. You understand
We're
that?
talking about the force that causes the acceleration. The reason why it's moving in the first place.
Why would you quote a vacuum when we don't live in a fucking vacuum?
You understand
we
that?
are isolating the variables. We are taking air out to take the effect of the air out.
Then it's
fact
fucking
that- the fact-
nonsense, you twat.
No, that
No,
is-
moron.
that is what-
You understand
what
that
we
air
are
has-
doing in experiments. When we are not living in a vacuum, that does not mean that we cannot make experiments in a vacuum to isolate variables.
When you're driving
Which
down the
I
motorway,
do not understand of that.
Experimenting in a vacuum if the whatever you're experimenting operates in air.
no, acceleration of gravity is not dependent on air.
Fucking moron.
The acceleration of gravity is not dependent on air, moron.
I never said it was.
Yes, you did.
Brian, Brian, why are you channeling Nathan Oakley?
Yeah, because he's an idiot. That's why. Just like Oakley. Yes, you are.
All right, so let's.
You're saying stupid shit.
Again, let's.
Like you can't figure out that a feather you can't figure out that a feather has lots of aerodynamic drag.
Why would you do experiments in a fucking vacuum if
To prove to you that your fucking feather and your ball and a bowling ball, a feather and a bowling ball in a vacuum will drop at the same rate.
you're a fucking bellend?
No, it's a totally valid, you idiot. No, moron.
And you can't see
Stupid. No, you're dummy. You are seriously stupid. I'm sorry. I thought you were just a po. No, I think you were seriously stupid.
Wait, Brian, did you call him a bellend?
experiment in a fucking vacuum chamber. That would prove something in our atmosphere, would it, you fucking bellend?
No, it proves gravity exists, you idiot. And the reason the feather falls slower than a bowling ball is because it has more aerodynamic drag. You
Brian,
idiot.
did you call him a bellend or not?
I told him no such thing, Kurt.
To prove that
Not you,
to prove there is no air resistance in a vacuum, moron. You don't understand this?
Yelling at each other about nothing, and let's get back to hearing the endless mind of E.T.
No.
Yeah,
He's not a
let's
flat
get back to
earther.
facts
He's
here.
not a flat earther.
Thank you.
He's someone who's not sure. He needs to listen to both sides to find out what's going on. Now, if obviously the globers are
Timo,
proof.
why are you gatekeeping? Stop being a gatekeeper. You hate
Gatekeeping what?
gatekeepers.
Your
Don't be what
fantasy
you
of a
hate.
solar system. What solar system with aliens? What are you talking about? Show me the alien. Exactly, Brian.
I
Talking
never said.
nonsense.
Yeah, I never said anything about an alien.
Yeah, you're
Why
talking
did you
about
bring
aliens.
aliens up first?
Sorry?
Why did you bring aliens into this?
Because that's what they want to talk about is aliens.
Yeah. Why did you bring aliens into
Because
this?
they said
Why'd
you'd
you
like
do
to
that?
talk about aliens, E.T.
Yeah, where did aliens come from?
Yeah, where'd you get aliens from, huh?
Yeah.
From
You said aliens in the
extraterrestrial
solar system, I
E.T.
believe you said that.
But look, Curve, they were having a great conversation about this vacuum, but there was no conclusion.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they
No,
were.
They were yelling at each other.
Timo,
about
It's because he's so totally dense on the subject.
Mabit was going to need an ambulance soon, Spurs.
No, they were going to come to a conclusion.
I got a question for...
I want to find out about this feather. Why can't we find out the conclusion if it falls or if we live in a vacuum, if it's important?
Well, can Mabit be calm? I'm
Hello,
just concerned
idiot.
for his health.
Chemo, you're being specific. Are you this stupid, or are you just trying to be a Poe?
Hey,
no, because I agree with Brian here, because...
of course you do, because you're both idiots.
Well, I have a question for you, after you and Brian. That's why I wanted to finish.
Me too, I got a question too.
Okay, ask the question, Chemo. What's the question?
Okay, so you're saying that these things fall at 9.8 meters per second in a vacuum. Do you have evidence of that?
Yeah, there's a video. Google it.
So you don't have evidence?
Yeah, Google it.
Okay, also, Shill, do you see gravity as a constant or an average?
Gravity is 9 point. It depends how accurate you want to be. 9.8 meters per second usually works for most of the Earth. There are what's the word I want? Surveys of the gravity. It does vary slightly from point to point.
That's outstanding, dude. Most people don't get that right.
Oh, I know what I'm talking about. But 9.8 meters per second is an average or a normal number. There are small deviations in gravity. If you go, it is greater at the equator than it is at the North Pole. They found this out during the Alaskan Gold Rush. I mean, all this thing.
Secret. This is not even news.
I know.
Well, some people don't know
but it is the flat earthers.
Like, you get people...
You're talking to us, Crit, not some people.
Yeah, I'm saying
So if
24/7.
Down a mine, do I weigh less?
No, you weigh more.
Why?
You weigh less, so you go away from the surface.
There's no easy way out, Mabbit. You're gonna have to diet and exercise, sir.
Is the rock above me not causing a gravitational pull on me?
Yeah, slightly. It's very small. It doesn't work that way though.
Oh,
because you're getting closer to the.
Unbelievable.
Because it's equal to the... Yeah, I know. He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand the formula for gravity, and I can't teach it to him because he's so dense.
Yeah, it's so.
Don't tell him what he doesn't understand. You're going to give him an aneurysm.
If it's the mass of Earth that causes this gravitational fucking pull, the deeper I go into it and I have rock above me, would there be a point where I have one force pulling me down and one equal force pulling me up?
Size is the rock? Is this an Earth-sized rock above your head?
I'm saying, would there be a point where you have a gravitational pull above you greater than the gravitational pull below you?
Why greater? Why greater?
Well, if I went deeper, would I end up floating?
No.
In the middle.
Because that rock,
the middle, right?
Middle pulled equally in all directions.
Should
Brian,
presumably going on your fucking physics, create a draw on me, and it doesn't, does it?
It does.
Mabbit, do you
Then
understand
why would I
what?
weigh heavier?
Yeah,
You weigh less, actually.
So you were wrong. Is that what you're saying?
Lay off the Yorkshire puddings, Mabbit.
It depends on the distance between the masses. So you get closer, you actually go down.
So
The
are
distance
you
goes up.
saying there is a force pulling towards the surface, but also that mass of rock is pulling away from the surface?
The mass of
Yes.
rock is the surface.
No, it goes right down, doesn't it?
Didn't you go below the surface?
Are you still trying to bury yourself in this, or are
Yeah,
you up on
he's
the earth
trying-
with a rock above your
He
head?
has a fundamental
deep are you,
misunderstanding
Matt?
of gravity.
How deep are you? Mabbit?
It is caused by the mass. We are told it is caused by the mass of Earth. Now, if we could find a point whereby you weigh nothing, that would prove that there is the actual mass of the Earth is creating a gravitational field.
That would be at the
If
center
we
of the
take
Earth.
one out,
Where would you have to be, Mabbit? Where would you have Mabbit? Yeah, fuck.
You'd have to be at the center of the earth. You would
Where
be
would you have-
weightless. You'd be
What
weightless.
about all the rock ahead on the way down there? What would happen to that?
You would be weightless. You would be weightless at the center of the earth.
Please go to the center of the earth. It's pretty hot there, and you'd burn up to a crisp, and then we'd be done with you. God.
What you don't realise is
I'm not done with you yet, Shield NASA, about this feather.
No, because you're sure you got some other bullshit questions to ask when he's done.
two opposite forces would equal out, would they not?
Where do you think you'd have to go for that balance out, Mabbit?
So if a rock is causing a draw towards it, it's also got to be causing a draw away from it, which
No, incorrect. Gravity is not the fish.
equalise out.
With respect to the mass of the Earth, how is it distributed around you?
What around me?
The mass of the Earth.
Well, surely, I mean, if you dug down deep enough, the rock to your left and right would be greater than the rock above you. Surely it should slam you into the side of the tunnel you're in.
Where are you? How deep are you at this point that you're
10 miles, 20 miles? Who knows?
10 miles?
It is just ludicrous what you...
It is ludicrous that you're thinking that.
Mabbit, no matter what depth you're at, you got to do the sum of all the vectors.
Correct.
Right.
If you're saying
something you can do on your whiteboard, I don't think, Brian.
If you're saying mass itself creates the draw, the gravitational attraction, then it's got to do it when you are inside that mass.
No.
Opposite way.
Don't pin that on me. I do not say that. I believe that the attraction correlates to the mass, but it's caused by aliens. Aliens are the cause of the force. It just
That's a good segue.
Why not? It could be aliens.
E.T., that was your cue, man. Tell us about the aliens.
Oh, you never know, man. It could actually be alien.
Could be.
Like actual. Why not?
Curved is working very hard for his check, right? But we're going to stay on point, Curved. I know they're desperate for the flat earth information not to be put out there, not to expose the globe lie. But...
shut up.
But we've got someone here, Paige Shill, who thinks that objects fall in a vacuum at the same rate.
They do, actually.
And yet again, this is a guy who has no evidence to support his claim.
There's a video to do it, and the guy in the moon dropped the feather and they hammered.
Videos can be faked.
Okay, so first of all, the moon landings were a hoax, and second of all, the Brian Cox vacuum you're speaking of was not in real time. It was in a time lapse.
Bullshit.
Doesn't matter.
You mean the fact he did it in slow? In fact, he showed it in slow motion, so it lasted a little bit longer. That's what.
Okay, so my response to that is that any scientist should be able to replicate what the so-called scientists have done. You agree? Disagree?
Yeah, you can do that. Sure, you got a big enough vacuum chamber. Go ahead and do it.
You agree with that? So we can take a vacuum, we can replicate, and try to get the same results.
Absolutely.
So what we have here, is several replications.
So what chemo's about to do?
What we have here. Hold on a second, Brian. 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 I just want to explain.
Relative density is bullshit, by the way. You know that relative density has been disproven. You know that relative density has been disproven scientifically by AB science, right?
Your claim was that things fall at the same rate, and you said yes. You said yes. We should be able to replicate that. You said yes. You agreed with that. So what we have here in this video here is replication of that in real time, and what we find is that it cannot be replicated. Things do not fall at the same rate. So if
what did he do?
If you can find a video that is,
he found videos that have a slight delay between the release mechanisms between two different things, and he's claiming that because he can see that they don't start at the same time. They obviously can't fall at the same time. He's done no amount of quantification. He hasn't done anything to actually examine it. He just said, because I can find things where there might be an error, it all doesn't work. It's bullshit.
Yeah, there's a video where the feather slightly hangs up a brief second on the release mechanism.
Hey, here's the guy. Here's the guy in the moon. Amazing. Wow.
Okay, so can you show me, NASA Shield guy, an experiment where you've seen a replication of NASA's time-lapse experiment where things fall at the same rate? I have at least 3 or 4, maybe 5 experiments, and all of them show results that favour our side, which say things do not fall at the same. Well, you may say that. You said other things. Provide a video of where things fall at the same rate in real time. You cannot, you will not, because it's not a scientific experiment that can be shown that is repeatable. Now, in my video,
a scientific experiment, you idiot! You showed the one from the moon. They showed the one Brian Cox one. Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Because we can replicate the one on the moon here on Earth, which we did.
You can how?
In the video, if you watch the video, it's all there. We replicate what they do on the moon in your own home. Not a problem. So what you need to do now is show yeah, you can keep calling that whatever you like, but we need to see from you is 2 objects in a vacuum falling at the same rate to back up your wild, outrageous claim.
It's not wild nor outrageous. Galileo proved this hundreds of years ago. Excuse me.
Yeah, but we can't replicate.
We never went to the moon.
Today,
we went to the moon.
It's not
tell that
real.
to Buzz so he can. Yeah, we did. We went to the fucking
moon. Right. So,
you
do you
morons.
concede? Hold on. Do you concede? Do you concede? Hold on, Brenda. Do you concede?
You mean these vacuum chambers are like 2 inches tall, and you're thinking that's what's that proving?
Well, there's a long chamber in there. They still can't do it in that.
Chemo.
No, Brenda, let's not derail. We're looking for NASA Shield guy to provide evidence that things fall at the same rate in a vacuum.
I'm not derailing. I'm giving you the video.
Oh, okay. Where is it?
I posted
it. It's not real.
It shows, It shows objects of different masses falling at the same speed.
Brenda, can you just keep out of this for a moment, okay? Until you find out what we're actually trying to achieve here. What we're trying to achieve is
objects of different mass fall at the same
Brenda.
rate.
I know, Brenda, but that's not what we're talking about now.
Yes, it is. It is what you're talking about.
Don't worry. We'll get to
exactly what we're talking about, Chemo.
We're talking about in the vacuum. That he said things in a vacuum fall at the same rate, 9.8 meters per second per second.
We don't need the vacuum, but yeah, if you have stuff that has
that's what Brian just told you, that you don't need a vacuum.
If you have a big amount of aerodynamic drag, then yes, if this is the feather.
Brian just told you.
I don't know why you guys are. Have you stuck your hand out the window when you're driving down the motorway?
All right, so you're red herring changing the topic now.
I'm not fucking red herring, you moron. You listen to me for a second.
You're conceding that I'm correct and you're incorrect.
No, you're incorrect.
Right, so if I'm incorrect, provide a video of a vacuum with things falling at the same rate.
I told you one. The pictures guys from the moon dropping the feather, the guy, and the one from the one that was on TV.
Yeah, we can replicate the one on the moon, easy peasy lemon squeezy. And we can also replicate what we've got here, long chamber.
You can't replicate the one on the moon,
look at this image here, long chamber, and the things are not falling at the same rate like you predicted. You're wrong. Concede.
I'm not going to concede because you're incorrect.
So then provide the evidence. Provide the evidence. We're waiting.
I did.
Where?
You actually showed one of them. The guy from the moon was at the beginning of the thing.
And I just said we repeated that on the Earth. Not a big deal.
I did it, but my vacuum chamber was only 3 inches high.
Not a big deal at all. So can you show evidence? Look at my video. All of these videos here show they do not fall at the same rate. Every single one. That every time someone's tried to replicate, it doesn't work.
Yeah, sure. When there is still too much air in that vacuum chamber,
I'm not hearing excuses. I want to see the replication. Show it can be done.
I've shown it to you already.
The video from Brian Cox has showed it.
That was in a time lapse, not real time. So they edited that. That's manipulation.
No, you it
was not. That is not. You have to demonstrate that when you claim that.
But Loki's clocked it. You see, Brian's clocked it. Go ahead, Brian.
I've just snapped that picture out of that video. You can clearly see the ball bearing falling faster than the feather.
Exactly. But that's a paid shield. That's what we do around these parts. Well, not all of them. Most people are globers.
Brian, when you still have air in that chamber, then sure, it will fall at a different
Not interested in your excuses. Well, why do it then? Why do the experiment and then show it to the world? Why?
Because you must have a vacuum which is strong.
Why did they even do the experiment in the first? Why didn't they just not show it and say, well, there's air in it, that's why we got a bad result?
It's showing before and after chemo.
Yeah, why did they say so? Why did they go, no vacuum, look at the difference?
They did not just say so, they made the experiment.
Even
and they
Action
had a
Lab,
vacuum which is sufficient.
Even Action Lab lied.
Which part of that, Brian, is so difficult to understand?
Well, look, we've got the repeatable experiments that cannot repeat. In fact, the experiments that I've got all show the same results. You can repeat it, but they don't fall at the same rate. But with your one, the one time lapse shows it falling at the same rate. That's very suspicious.
Can I have a little look at this?
The deeper the
Veritasium
vacuum,
video shows them falling at the same rate.
The deeper the vacuum, the closer they fall to the same rate.
Oh, sorry, Brian.
What do you think about that, Chemo?
It's just another snap out of it, mate, as they're getting
I'll
down.
post it again there. So, yeah, that's the one there. Yeah, I mean, it's a classic, yeah. And if you notice, Brian, with this long one, he pulls the camera back to show, so we don't see it. Like he did a little sneaky thing there. But the eyes
So
are
that's
flat
just
out.
a conspiracy theory. You have to prove that.
They are pushing an agenda. They have got to make. They've got to keep this bullshit going.
You have to prove that. You can't just say it.
Yeah. Right, whatever, Brenda. Look, so NASA Shield paid, right? You know now you've made a wild claim that things fall at the same rate, but you're yet to provide just one video of where the chamber is standing still, no one's touching it. You release the objects, they fall at the same rate. Do we have that?
Yes, Brian Cox's video.
Brian Cox is manipulated with time lapse, not in real time.
You asked for a time lapse. You
You want time lapse. You want real time.
You did. You asked for a time lapse.
So if I put my timer from when it falls, is that the rate that it falls? Exactly.
You asked for a time
So,
lapse.
Brenda, if I start the timer with my clock, will I get 9.8 meters per second squared on Brian's video?
You asked for a time lapse.
Exactly. You won't get the same results if I time it with my clock and watch Brian's video.
Yes, you will if you account for it being a time lapse.
Account for the time lapse, yeah?
Yeah, of course. If it's in slow motion, it's in slow motion in parts.
Slow-mo, not time lapse.
That's true. That's true. That's technically right. Yeah.
So we're gonna have to do some calculations, yeah?
And you're just moving the goalposts. You know, you're just being dumb.
Just being dumb, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Wanting to be able to time this 9.8 meters per second.
Kimo, what are you trying to time?
So let's concede. Let's move on.
What are you trying to time, Kimo?
Sorry?
What are you trying to time exactly?
So if we watch Brian Cox's video, will we get...
I just want an answer.
We're trying to time Brian Cox's time-lapse video.
All right, let me try this again. With your clock, are you timing acceleration or rate of fall?
No, we're trying to measure the 9.8 meters per second squared.
How are you going to do that with your clock?
Well, whatever timepiece or whatever calculation we use.
Okay, you drop it and you time 1 second of fall. How far does it fall in that 1 second?
But again, we're going to have to use some calculations to work it all out. But will we
How far, Kimo? How far?
Well, go on then, work it out. Use Brian Cox's video and tell me how far it falls in 1 second.
1 second, Kimo, easy. 9.8 meters per second.
Yeah, so I'm saying in Brian Cox's video, time how far it falls in 1 second.
How far does it... so what are you doing with your clock? You don't even know what you're looking for.
Oh, for goodness sakes. We're looking at Brian Cox's video in slow motion.
How far does it fall in the first second, Kimo? 1 second of fall. How far is the first second?
Well, it's in time-lapse. We're not sure. In slow motion.
It's a different
You don't even know what you're doing, Kimo.
It's a comparative.
You don't even know what you're doing.
But we won't get the same rate if we watch it in slow motion and we try to calculate it. We'll get a different result.
Kimo.
Where's the entire video to see if it's the same rate or something in the...
There's another one from Brian.
A delay in the release mechanism and such. All right, he's showing something at some point in the video. Where's the beginning?
Look, the idea is that you won't get the same time rate.
The idea is you're showing me a bunch of fucking cherry-picked pink herrings. That's what
you're
doing.
We're trying to replicate what Brian Cox did. We failed.
No, Brian Cox is wrong, you say. Don't replicate what he did. Do it right.
Yeah, like Brian
Cox. Do it
Cox.
right and show us we're wrong.
Well, if it's science, we should be able to repeat it.
Yeah. You should, but you can't.
Nobody has repeated this experiment anywhere.
No flat earthers have.
They're all globers, they were.
No flat earthers have. Where is this flat earth science we keep hearing about?
So NASA page here, you're being saved right now for your embarrassment. Okay.
I'm being embarrassed. Don't give me this shit.
Yeah, you're being saved right now. Curved is stepping in for you to make sure that the detention is not on him, not on you, sorry, but on him. But again, we have to stay focused on the people that make wild, outrageous, insane claims.
They're not wild nor outrageous comments.
All right, then let's provide evidence.
What is the chemo? What is the claim that's being tested?
He's claiming that things fall at the same rate in a vacuum, but can't prove it.
That's correct.
No, it's not. That's not the claim. You're wrong.
He said that's correct. So we're not talking to you, Brenda. Stay. Just try to listen to what's being said.
Listening.
He just said that's correct. Should I go back in the tape, Brenda, and play when he said that's correct?
Chemo. You're wrong. When you
he said that's correct, Brenda.
Chemo, you're wrong.
He said that's correct.
Doesn't matter. You're wrong. The point is, chemo, try to listen.
Oh gosh.
Things fall. The point is that all objects with mass fall at the same rate everywhere. In a vacuum or out of a vacuum.
The thing about the Indian vacuum thing is this is the feather thing. He's hung up on the feather and the hammer.
Yeah.
And the only way to get a feather to fall is to take away all the aerodynamic drag. My guess is that in these Florp experiments that they are only under partial vacuums, and there's still enough air to give the feather enough aerodynamic drag that it falls slower. That is my hypothesis.
Possible problems, including static electricity holding the feather back, stuff like that on the...
And if you look at that one with the white feather, it's a very light feather, so it would probably be, the whole definition of vacuum, vacuum can mean reduced pressure. But, you have to get pretty close to absolute for the feather to work. But, this is Flurf thing he's being intentionally dishonest now. This is a typical Flurf science.
So chemo, a feather falls, according to the law of gravity, at the same rate as a basketball in the air. The only difference is that the force of the air resistance counters it.
Brendan, what we're looking for
I hear somebody
is
snoring
from NASA agent, not NASA, you're a NASA agent. So from the NASA Shield guy, he made a wild claim that things fall at the same rate. He still hasn't
wild
provided.
Claim. That is a sign. That is a fact. Thank you very much.
You still haven't provided.
Galileo proved it years ago.
Oh, years ago, back in the Egyptian times.
Who's snoring? Who's snoring?
He's sleeping. ET fell asleep.
Somebody's snoring.
It's ET.
ET, okay.
Thought it was him.
I'm not snoring at all.
Oh, okay.
I'm not asleep. Not asleep. No, not me.
Okay, so like I said, when someone makes these kind of claims, we're looking for the evidence to back it up. And you tried to make a claim of things falling at the same rate in a vacuum with nothing to back it up.
Yeah, other than the fact that they do, and they had pictures, and they did it on the moon, they did it in the big chamber at.
They never went to the moon.
We went to the moon. We did. Yes, we did.
No,
go tell that to Buzz.
No.
Go tell that to Buzz.
It never happened.
It happened.
Never happened.
Happened.
No, it didn't happen.
Yes, it did. We have moon rocks. We have pictures.
No, it didn't. Dude, is it completely impossible?
God. Nope, sorry, I went there.
There's no freaking possible way that
yes, it did.
Ever happened.
Yourself and go to sleep.
That technology.
We did have the technology. That's correct.
Yeah. Yes, we did. No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
No,
we didn't.
That's nothing. We don't have that technology. Period.
Go to bed.
We went to the moon.
Go to bed,
We went to the moon. Go to bed. Yeah, go dream, ET. We went to the moon.
Dream.
The sky is blue. The water's wet. We went to the moon.
How did they get through the How did they get through the Van Allen belt then?
We never fucking went there.
They went through the Van Allen radiation belts. Thank you very much.
How? What did they have?
Using a rocket.
Couldn't have went.
Yeah, but what was the shielding?
Yes, we did.
What shielding did they use to get through it?
Well, you mean it's called aluminum and steel works very well in the radiation in Van Allen radiation belt. So you don't understand there's different kinds of radiation.
No, I don't understand because you're saying they had something to get through back in the 60s, but not through today.
What? Yeah, we don't have the technology today. It's true.
You don't have the technology to get through the Van Allen belt today.
Yes, we do. We have the same technology we have. We actually have better shielding technology.
We have better technology, but we haven't gone back to the moon, or even through. We haven't even gone 1% of the distance to the moon.
Actually, no, we've gone through the Van Allen radiation belt lots of times when we send probes to the planets and stuff. We can do it.
Really?
No problem.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Yeah. Oh, really? We can do it.
Let's have a look at that. Let's have a look, NASA page show.
About that?
You know what the fuck you're talking about.
Well,
you have a habit of making things up, you do, without providing evidence. It's becoming a habit.
Who's talking to me now?
So you're saying something has went through the Van Allen belt, and you're not going to show me?
What do you mean I show you? We have probes.
Let's have a look. Then let me see this probe go through the Van Allen belt. Another wild, outrageous claim from you.
You think they took pictures of the probe going through the radiation belt? Do you understand that you don't see anything when you go through the Van Allen radiation belt?
Maybe, maybe not. But let's see it go through the Van Allen belt.
I have to go. So you guys be good and keep your
from this because you know.
What's that?
You should retire.
I'm not retired. Bullshit. You just are full of shit. You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. You're just a denier saying no the whole time.
Dude, you're more religious than the Christians.
I'm not religious. You are the religious.
You are so religious. You're like, I got faith.
I'm not. No, wait a minute. Let's talk about Fundy zealots who say, "Oh, it can't be that way because it would disprove my flat Earth religion."
You have to leave now because you've.
Well, if you're a scientist,
no, I haven't been shit. I would stay, except I do have a life, and I have to keep it up.
Destroyed.
I've not been destroyed. That's bullshit. Who's saying I'm destroyed? Who's saying I'm destroyed?
I do.
Who's that talking? E.T.? Is that you?
It's your conscience talking.
Who's saying that?
Your conscience.
Who's talking to me?
Your conscience.
Who's talking to me? Say your name. Or your screen name.
Say your name. Say your name. Now
Chemo,
around you.
Okay, I'm going.
All right.
All right.
See you later.
Yeah, it's my sorry, my name. Can you guys?
That's pretty much what we do, guys. We expose the zealots, we expose the fundamentalists, and we show you guys that you have nothing more than a religion. Now,
you make wild, outrageous claims that you can't back up, like always.
No, you ran off this morning when you lied. You lied.
No,
you gave false
anyway,
information
Kimo,
about the North Pole expedition.
I like how you're attacking the man, not the argument.
No,
but,
you
lied
to us. You said there is video of a guy going to the North Pole, and there's not.
No, I said there's video of a guy who's been to the North Pole.
No, that's not what you said.
The fact that you can't listen is not my problem.
Do I have to go back and get it all up again?
Yeah.
I ran away last time when we played it.
Didn't run away anywhere, Kimo.
Yeah, when we was playing
that's
you were deafened.
Hubris.
You deafened yourself.
I have a life. and most of the time,
picking
I have
strawberries. We know. Now
so
let's get back to the topic here.
And again, stop over talking me, Kimo.
Well, you're derailing here. We're not talking about strawberries. We're talking about the shape of the earth.
And that's not good etiquette. Can you act like a moderator rather than like?
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. Get back to the topic.
Yeah, so stop acting like a cunt and over talking people.
No, you're derailing, talking about strawberries and whatever. We need to get back to science.
I didn't mention strawberries. You're just acting like a cunt. Stop it.
Oh, gosh. Okay, can we get to the science now, then?
Good. You're going to stop acting like a cunt. I appreciate it.
Stop acting like a diva, and let's get back to the outrageous claims from your side. Can you back up anything that your colleague said about the globe? The moon landings, the... what else were we talking about? Things falling at the same rate, in a vacuum. Just concede and we stop. Just concede and we stop. If you want us to stop asking questions, just concede. Say, look, guys, we can't prove
Sounds
it.
like anybody wants to engage with Kimo. I wonder why. Maybe it's because he's a dishonest cunt.
Brian, you posted several photos of vacuum chambers in the chat. Did you have any? Did they measure any vacuum, any pressure in there? In millibar or Paul or megapascal?
Try watching the video yourself. You will see the vacuum gauge.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
you posted pics. Have you posted the video?
That's why I store these videos. Go ahead, Brian.
Chemo posted the video.
Yeah, we can put it up again. It's right here.
We don't click Chemo's links. Chemo lies.
That's why Brian posted the images, which is so you can see what's in the video. It's your so-called science, and it's failed you.
Yeah, chemo. I want to know. I'll watch that
Why
video.
are you trying to steal the limelight? Why are you stealing the limelight away from ET? The guy's itching at the mic. He's raring to go.
Okay. Listen to...
What's up? Where? Oh, sorry. What's up?
Nothing, man.